So we realized that the free ring model is no good. We started to develop this what we call a nested model, like Russian dolls, layer and layer. The outer layer is the environment. Inner would be resources, and then inner is the society, to maintain the society. Then we can have economic sustainability. But we did not realize that in 1992, after the summit held in Brazil, in Amazon, we started to detail all those different items, including natural resources, environmental quality, biodiversity, health and hygiene, mobility, leisure and cultural vibrancy, society and social infrastructure, and economy. So economy is just only one of them. With these 8 guiding principles, these are what we call it indicators or numerical analysis. They have numbers. Like if you talk about environmental quality, we have what? API. We have air pollution index. If we talk about biodiversity, we may calculate the biodiversity index in different regions. Same thing is true of health and mobility. One of the goal is to establish what we call 1 hour circle. Let's use example here. Making sure that everybody within an hour could go from one place to another place. And then also in different regions, like leisure and cultural vibrancy, like for example in Hong Kong, every district, every region, under the district council, there would be under per significant number of citizens or residents. We have ball court, we have library, we have cultural center, we have cinemas and so on, right? And swimming pool, etc., etc. So under that, before 1997, we had this 8 goals. And then we have, I still remember there was a student from environmental science program. Her first job was, before 1997, was to do this consultancy report to the Development Bureau in Hong Kong. Okay, there was no Development Bureau, there was a development branch. And then, yeah, that was in the planning department, 規劃處. And then we realized that the scope of these things are becoming bigger and bigger. So planning department is not big enough. So we started to have the Sustainable Development Council. You know who is the chairman of the council? 行政會議召集人 right now is Bernard Chan, Chen Qixi. So you can see the scope is actually from the higher level of the government administration. Of course, you may say, okay, these are all empty words, just like Twitter. I showed you guys a video last time. We can put one thing for sure, that is actions are badly needed. Actions, and also we need to put resources. Now this is what policy is all about. Policy is to have a purposive cause. Purposive means one purpose that would use government resources, because we all are for the government, right? The government would collect all our tax money, and then the money would be used to develop certain policy for conservation, for planting trees, for the protection of the environment. That was from last week's video. And then more than that, 2 years ago they had another meeting and developed that into 17 goals. So from now on, even they do a mushroom project from our biology and food science students. They won an award. One thing they did very well is that they actually matched their project, all projects. No matter what you do, you have to consider whether this would be good for the people under poverty line. So the #1 goal, coming back again, expanding from 1972 to 1992, and then now to what, 2017, they have this 17 goal. #1, no poverty. I know it is too idealistic, right? That is communism, I'm telling you. No poverty. So I charge you more tax. I tax you more, and then we distribute the money. Is it the way to do? I don't know. I'm just suggesting that to you. Sustainable development goes now from the 3 rings, and then we break it up into this nested model. We also elaborate 3 ring into 8 guiding principles. And then last year, they started to detail mine with this 70 goal. The second goal, 0 hunger. No one is suffered from starvation. 唔會有人餓死. 3, health and well-being. 4, quality education. 5, gender equity. Boys and girls are all created equal, so they should receive the same education. And then 6, clean water and sanitation. Now this is also one of the major problems in many countries, like Southeast Asian countries or Africa, that they are suffering from diarrhea or cholera due to sanitation problem. Right? One of the key projects of Bill Gates, I'm not so sure whether you have watched the Bill Gates documentary from Netflix. One of his key projects is to develop this. Actually, a few years ago, a student asked me, how could we do a sewage treatment in the rural area? Okay, so everybody just go to the washroom and then whoop, turn into something useful. Energy, or at least sanitation. No pollution contaminating the water. Okay. 7, affordable and clean energy. Now, what's the meaning of clean? 0 carbon. Oh no, that's too difficult to achieve. Okay, if you burn natural gas, you still have to release some carbon. But clean means what? Free of pollutants, right? Coal, we call it a dirty coal, or diesel. They are very dirty. When you burn them, you have sulfur dioxide, you have mercury, and all those metals, because they were dug out from the soil or from the seafloor. So there are many steps to really clean up the field. 8, decent work and economic growth. Industrial innovation and infrastructure. Reduce the inequalities. Sustainable, you can see this. Sustainable cities, yeah, and communities. Now that is an interesting quest. We believe that cities or urbanized area could be useful for sustainable development because not everyone could afford to own a piece of land and then you have the front yard and backyard. You own a house and live like American. They're actually big spender. They use a lot of energy. So if everyone wants to, like the Chinese call for this 超英趕美, then how could you afford to have that many people to live? Everyone could own a piece of land, and that's not sustainable. The only way that's sustainable is that you build cities like Hong Kong, highly efficient. The communities, people are staying together, and then people are also believing in responsible consumption. No matter what you buy, we try not to buy things that are from too far away. I know this is very difficult to convince my family, don't buy those fruits from, I know they are delicious from Japan. Very delicious, but they are too far away. You don't have to buy US steak. I know steak is usually what? From the US or from Australia. Okay? So we have to reduce the consumption. I mean, to become more responsible for the materials that you use. Climate action, you know, we have discussed that last time, so I don't want to spend too much time, but at least this action include all those technical supports to deal with climate change or global change, or to deal with what? Climate ethical issues. Say like for example, you need to build up dams and also roads to support those villages. Okay? And then life below water because of climate change, and we have many different water coming out, and then life below water means because we have on Earth 70%, 70.8% to be exact, of our globe covered by ocean. So we have to consider them, and also those life on land. And then 16 would be peace and justice and a strong institution. So meaning that you have to work together as partner. So that will fulfill the last goal, partnerships for the goals. So no matter what you do, you cannot just do it on your own. You have to consider different stakeholders and engage them to do that together. Okay, so briefly I have explained all these 17 goals. And yeah, so I don't need to go on this one by one, but at least this is the #1 request, end poverty in all its forms everywhere. And then achieve food security, make sure that everyone will have enough nutrients or nutrition. So if you can do 1 and 2, I suppose everybody will stay healthy and have our well-being promotion. Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education, and that is not included in previous slide. Lifelong learning, because the world is changing so rapidly. So lifelong learning is also very important opportunities for everyone. Now there are many online lectures or online materials that you may learn. You don't need to come to the classroom, you may just learn here. Gender equality and empower all women and girls to do whatever they want to do. Ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Okay. And then energy, clean energy, but it's also affordable. And then employment and decent work. So you have to have a work. I suppose that the decent work hours is also very important. And build resilient infrastructure and foster innovation. And then reduce inequality within and among countries. Make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable, and then ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. And I don't want to go over all this, but you are going to go over all this in the next part of today's discussion. I have selected, well, 6 projects here, but anyway, any project must be, from now on, evaluated or considered to fulfill this 17 goal. In other track, then you may draw another track. Then, say like for example, then you have different goals. Then you may draw a map with how much that you have achieved. If say like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals, and if it's closer to there, then you may draw a chart like that. But these guys are, I mean, the 17 goals are more confusing because you cannot have 17 dots, right? You could do so, but it would be far complicated. So instead, I would suppose that you may first identify the 17 goals one by one. The first one is about building road. Is building road environmentally friendly? Okay, according to the principle or the guiding principles or the 17 goal, the environmentalists would tell you that that is not. But not all projects are the same, so you have to consider. Like for example, I'm just giving you an example. You don't have to follow this one. Building a cable car to Daigo. We have already made a cable car from Dongchong to Hongping, right? That's for tourist attraction. I don't know how you feel about sightseeing. We like to do mountaineering a lot, you know, doing 爬山. But do you think building a cable car is sustainable? Okay, what do you mean by sustainable? Oh, okay, first you have to consider these 17 goals. Are you following my logic? The tourism or ecotourism, how do we draw a line? The hidden cost of wildlife tourism, actually animal lovers are making more animals suffer. Okay, energy and waste generation, deforestation for biofuel, or even seafood consumption. In Hong Kong, we do eat a lot of seafood. Okay, and then how to limit your ecological footprint and practice low carbon living. Okay, these are the possible discussion topics. Okay, I stop here. You may start the discussion, or you may take a break of 5 minutes and start the discussion for 15 minutes. Okay. 休息下先。